might say. But Jupiter's been sitting in Sagittarius now since last December. He will be there till the end of the year. But Jupiter at the moment is going retrograde or backwards. And we quite often talk about that with the planet Mercury. But yes, some other planets do go retrograde at different times during their cycle. Well, Jupiter has actually been retrograde or going backwards since April. Now, this will go through till about the 12th of August or August 12 before Jupiter will go direct. Now, why is this so important? Well, not just for all the fire signs, but for every single sign. You may have felt as if from about April onwards that the things that you were trying to change or bring about in your life had sort of slowed down drastically. It was like, oh, I've got no motivation anymore. I've got no sort of oomph to get up and sort of give it a final push. This is the reasons why. Now, it's not saying that that's, you should give up on your dreams and your aspirations. It's just saying use this time to make sure that you're fine-tuning anything. It might be the time to go back and look at and make sure everything's as you want it to be and be ready to move forward again when everything goes full throttle. In August, be ready to move forward then. It's not necessarily a time to say that dreams can't happen. It's just a time of reassessing, reorganising, allowing our wisdom to come through. And we all have a certain amount of personal wisdom, but I think at times we're just so busy running around from hither to thither that we forget to allow that to sort of happen. So it's a time now to really make sure that we do that, and particularly as we head into July, because in July we're going to have our dear friend Mercury is going to go retrograde too for 3.5 weeks, and he'll just sort of finish about a few days before the Jupiter retrograde. So it's sort of like let's beat Mercury to the punch. Let's get in and sort anything out that we need to sort out now about our new direction in our life, and then just give ourselves a little bit of an easier Mercury retrograde. So we're going to take our first call, and it's Jessica in Nashville, North Carolina. Are you ready there, Jessica?
Hello, yes.
Do you have a question for me, Jessica?
Yes, I do. I actually have a question about a guy named Brian, and he's been confusing me for last couple from last year, and I just want to know what's going on. Is there going to be a possible relationship between us, or?
I think with Brian, I don't think Brian knows what Brian wants. So it's really hard then for sort of, I suppose, Brian to put it into words what he's sort of expecting from you and what he expects from the relationship, because he doesn't know himself from one minute to the next what he wants out of his life and where he needs to go and what he needs to be doing. Look, I'm not saying the relationship's over. What I'm going to say to you, Jessica, is I think maybe take a step back a little bit and be a little bit more objective about the whole relationship, not just what's going on now. Have a step back, look at it from beginning to where you are now, and be very open and very honest with yourself. And I feel by doing that, I think you'll be able to fill in some of the gaps. I think some of the things that have troubled you over the time will start to make more sense. And it's like I can put that into a pocket and I can put that into another pocket and I can see the bigger picture. Look, I don't dislike Brian. I think he's a nice man. I think he's just had an awful lot on his plate, particularly in this last 6 months that he's had to deal with. And I think he's felt a little bit overwhelmed. Not sure what the next step is, so he sort of seems to be like a fly. He's flitting from one thing to another and not really settling on anything to sort of say, okay, this is the direction that I need to go. So they're showing me from about August that the relationship itself will start to stabilise again, and I feel then you start to sort of feel more secure in the relationship. You feel more secure in how Brian feels towards you. And you sort of feel, yeah, I can see this really developing into something serious. But just changing the subject just slightly, have you been considering looking for another job? Because they're showing me a question mark around work, Jessica.
I have thought about it. It's the place I'm actually working at. It's actually I'm working for Fire. So I haven't had it look because I am a single mother, so it's hard for me to actually get out because I don't have vehicle and so forth.
Yeah, I just feel that there's something coming towards you as far as a work opportunity that will fit in with your current lifestyle, that will sort of, you'll embrace with both hands, and it's like, wow, this is good. I can see my life starting to unfold in a direction I'm happy with now. So that's good. Well, we're going to leave it there, Jessica, and we're going to move on to Joe in Denver, Colorado. Are you there, Joe? Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hi, Joe. Have you got a question I can work with?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I'm just wondering what is in my space as far as relationship-wise, if you see something upcoming for me.
I do, Joe. Okay, the first thing that was showing me, Joe, was that you've been through a lot of endings, change and transformation this year. Now, whether that's been conscious or unconscious, to me it's sort of been like a series of doors closing, and not just about relationships, but many, many areas of your life, as if you've gone through your life with a fine-tooth comb and put everything into their little boxes, into their little categories right across the line. That's a good thing, because in the process of that, you've actually looked at relationships of the past and learnt a lot about what you want, what you need, and what you need going forward. So now you have a very clear picture in your mind of the type of relationship you need for this stage in your life. So having said that, I feel that it's not too far away before you're going to attract a new love in your life. I'm seeing as early as next month, and I'm seeing a lady that I would describe as being sort of medium coloured, very interesting lady. I wouldn't call her drop dead gorgeous, but I'm certainly going to say she's interesting, she's attractive, she's got a bubbly personality, but at the same time there's this really innate sense of honesty there. You know, she calls it as she sees. And I feel that's a refreshing change for you, to have somebody in your life that's going to be very honest. There's always been people that have had an agenda or a hidden something or other in their lives that, you know, you go along for a while and then all of a sudden you see the real them and you think, oh, what did I get myself into? There'll be nothing like that with this lady. I really like her. I think the two of you are going to connect very, very quickly, and it's going to develop into a really serious relationship very, very quickly, Joe. And it's interesting because both of you haven't been in a relationship for some time, and it's like the age-old question, well, where do I go to meet somebody? And, you know, it's difficult, it's hard. But I'm always of the belief that when the time's right, the universe provides, no matter what, whether it's, you know, we bump into somebody in a market or we meet somebody at a gathering or whatever, when the time's right, it will happen organically. I don't think we have to physically try and force it. I mean, yes, we have to go out the door, we have to partake in life, but we don't necessarily have to force trying to meet people to make a relationship happen. Have you just moved house, Joe?
I haven't moved. I've changed careers. That's what I've done over the last year. I committed to ministerial school.
Right.
Ironically, about a year ago.
Okay, but did you make some changes to where you're living during that time too? Did you change the furniture around? Did you clear the cupboards out or something? There was a change within the home as well.
I've been doing more work from home. I stream online. I've kind of created my own home, so to speak. I created a community about a year ago.
Okay, that must be what I'm picking up then, because they were sort of saying to me that the home was becoming very important with whatever changes were there. It was like, I feel really secure now. I feel I'm almost there with what I was trying to create.
Yeah, I'm trying to create a spiritual community where people can raise their vibration and their energy level, and they can find their spiritual gifts. That's what my baby
wonderful. Is. Well, I think you're on the right path, because from what they were showing me, keep it up, because whatever changes you've made around the home, and it was like literally moving from one home to another was how they showed it to me. You've got to keep that going because you are on the right path. It's good. There's more to come out of that, though. you're going to have a different approach in the way that you help people open themselves up. And it's not it's one size fits all. It's sort of like encouraging people to explore their spirituality in a way that suits them, still within guidelines, but allowing people to put their own stamp on it, I suppose. It's the way I'm seeing it. You have a different approach to it. People sort of tend to sort of get into spirituality and they think everybody's got to follow like sheep the same rules, and that's not always the case. I think there's got to be your own personality somewhere in that as well.
I think I'm blending two-face into my ministry. That's what my goal is.
Right. Well, I feel you're on the right path. Like the people that you're working with are certainly gaining more than you realise out of your, the sharing of the knowledge. I wasn't going to use the word teaching because I think you're doing more than that. You're empowering people. You're not just, teaching them something. You're empowering them to follow their own direction, and that's a very powerful journey that you're taking people on.
Is this relationship going to be somebody that I can think about marriage and kids with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very serious relationship. So that's what I mean. You're finally getting the right person by your side that you need in every way. It's, beauty's only skin deep. It's the beauty that comes from within somebody. You can have somebody that's gorgeous to look at and they haven't got anything in their soul. You need the whole package, and that's what I see you getting, Joe.
Okay. Cool. Can I ask one more question if you don't mind?
If you're very quick, we've got less than 60 seconds.
Okay, I'll be really quick. I've been seeing my ministry out in Oregon, and I just wanted to know if you had a confirmation on that.
Yes, I do. I think there's going to be a bigger expansion with this than what you realise. So just keep moving forward and believe anything's possible, Joe. Anyway, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Until next week, have a great week, and I hope you enjoy the remainder of the full moon in Sagittarius. Bye for now.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. Welcome to another show. And now I normally sort of have a little sort of spiritual talk before we start doing two readings. So I know that we're going to have a couple of callers coming in later. So what thought I would talk about today is I was thinking about just people in general and what some amazing people in the world do. If you take someone like Gandhi, for instance, or Mother Teresa, or, some of the saints, or, just some incredible people that have set up charities and done things for other people. In other words, they've come to the earth plane and they've been fair of heart, they've had that grace, and they've given to other people, and they've made their life about giving to other people. And I just sort of, was reflecting on that and thinking how amazing that is, and how that's, in a way, to be like that is quite a challenge, isn't it? Because we naturally, instinctively are, I guess, sort of thinking about our own needs and what we want in life, and whereas we might have, say, we may think from time to time about others, mostly we're getting on with our own lives. And I was thinking how, wouldn't it be amazing if everybody in the world was charitable? Everybody did something for somebody else in need. Everybody helped everybody else. Now, as you can probably gather, I'm from England, and so that's where that English accent comes from. And when I was a little girl, I used to read these books that were written by Enid Blyton. She was an English authoress, and she wrote about, I guess you could probably pitch it for, the 1950s or that sort of era. And she would write about 5 children who just have loads of adventures and fun, and they'd go off with their dog, and it was called The Famous Five. And I always think, wouldn't it be wonderful to live in Enid Blyton land, to sort of have that sort of safety where nobody has to sort of lock their doors, or nobody has to sort of worry about theft or some of the difficulties and the challenges that we have in our lives today. I mean, obviously, there are some things that, we wouldn't want to lose today as well. I think society has come a long way. But I think sort of, what I would just sort of love is what I want people to sort of think about is about, operating from your heart is on some respects a challenging thing. But it enables you to be, if you operate from your heart, then what you're doing is you're doing God's work. You're helping the spirit world, and you're bringing love to other people. And I firmly believe that is absolutely what God wants of you. He wants you to be good to others. He wants you to help others. He wants you to support others. So it's sort of just, and that's not to say that we just ignore all our needs. And of course, our needs have to be met. That's quite important. But I just think it's something to sort of think about how we are in our life. Interesting, I remember I had a friend who's passed now, and we both lived in London at the time. And she said, and London is very much the sort of place where you would go out into the streets and nobody would say hello. Nobody would sort of, look at you. They would just get on with their daily life. And that was the way London was in those days. And I remember her saying, I'm going to go out into the streets and walk along the streets, and I'm going to smile to everybody that I pass by, and I'm going to give them a smile. Isn't that amazing that she thought that? And she said it was just incredible how people would actually smile back, because London is not known for it. It's quite a solitary place in a way. Obviously, for those people who've made lots of friends, then it's not solitary, but it's people keep themselves to themselves, and they're not looking to sort of engage with you on the streets or on the trains or the underground. It's very sort of much like that. But what she was showing to me is how she wanted to actually show love. I mean, a smile is showing love to somebody, and how she was attempting to do that. I just thought that was just sort of quite sort of incredible. Her generosity of heart, I think, is what she had. Now, I know that we're going to have a couple of callers, and I believe I've got one waiting. Brooke in Broussard, Louisiana. Are you there, Brooke?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, and welcome to the show. And how are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Now, have you ever had a reading before?
I have, but I don't think it was accurate.
Right, okay. Well, hopefully we can do something better today. So I'm a medium, and that means that I can first of all, I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can speak to my guides or your loved ones to give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work? And if so, where would you like me to focus?
a medium, the medium one for medium reading.
Okay, and is there somebody in particular that you'd like me to connect to? The reason I ask is because we have so little time on the show.
Okay, my grandfather, who today would have been his 99th birthday.
Oh wow! Right. Okay. Let's see if I can get him. He's just instantly come forward, and he said to me that he's just said to me, I've been waiting patiently to talk because he was planning to talk. He's saying to me that like he remembers you well as a child. And I feel that there was, he's making me feel as though he had a role to play in part of your bringing you up. Would you understand that?
Can you say that again, please?
He's saying to me that he had a role to play in bringing you up. I feel that you would spend quite a bit of time with him. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Because he's making me feel as though he loves you like his own daughter. Like it's almost as though you're his daughter, not a granddaughter.
Yeah. Yes.
That would make sense to you, would it?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
He's saying to me that he's making me feel as though he's like a really sweet grandfather. Like he would spend a lot of time playing with you and give you a sort of a lot of attention when you were a younger child. And I just feel that he's showing me playing. That's the thing that I'm getting quite a lot of. And he's showing me sitting on some steps by the front door. It looks like a front door, could be a back door, but it's by a door that I'm seeing. And I'm sitting on steps and I'm playing with something on the steps with you. And I feel that this is a memory link. And you look, he's shown me as I look at you that you're quite small, but he has this memory of always looking to sort of, he's just playful is what I feel with him. Does that make sense to you?
That he seems playful?
Pardon?
That he seems playful?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I have some memories of him, yes.
Because he's showing me these memories, and you're quite small. So that, and I feel that there's some sort of link towards he brings me straight to sort of your childhood as opposed to sort of an adult. And I feel sort of quite sort of strong about wanting to connect in with regards to your childhood, and that's where he's focusing his attention on with you.
Yeah.
I feel with him that he's making me feel as though he was a little bit upset with certain things with regards to I feel with regards to your parents and how they were doing things with you. Would that make sense to you?
Wait, can you say that again?
He's telling me that he was a little bit upset with your parents with how they were doing things with regards to bringing you up. Would that make sense to you?
That would very much make sense to me because my mom was more of a loving person than my father. So.
But he didn't agree with some of the parenting ways that they adopted, the style that they adopted. But he's drawing before you mentioned about your mum being more loving, he was drawing my attention to your mum, and I feel that he makes me feel like he's more connected to your mum. So this that he has more of a love for your mum as I'm talking, which would suggest to me that your mum is his daughter.
Yes.
That's correct,
yes, very much so.
And he's saying to me that he always had a problem with her choice in other words, your father. He didn't agree with his behavior. He didn't. He found him to be like he worried about his discipline and his methods of how he would treat you and how he would behave.
Yes, that makes total sense. Very much sense. I know exactly where you're going with that, because he really
he saw your father as being a bit of a bull.
Huh?
So he saw your father as being a bit of a bully, and I just feel that he was very disappointed, and I feel that he also had sort of like he also had a concern for your well-being, because he's making me feel as though your father could be a little bit too heavy-handed in his discipline. Would that make sense to you, Brooke?
Like to a T, like, my gosh.
He broke your jaw, did you say?
Huh?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
What did you say?
I said that he was concerned about your father because he felt that his discipline was too heavy-handed.
It was. To be honest, it very well was. So it makes sense.
He was concerned for your safety and concerned for your well-being, and he's telling me that when he was able to see you and have you with him, he always felt a little bit more comfortable, because he knew that you would be. He was concerned for your safety, and he's saying to me that he's making me feel as though he highly disagreed with your mum marrying, or I don't know whether they were married, but being together with your father, and he just disapproved totally of the relationship, and he's also saying to me that he wasn't always nice to your mum either, and your mum suffered at the hand of your father as well.
That's all true. That all makes total sense.
He's saying to me that he's making me feel that you made a decision from a very young age to find freedom, to be almost like you're escaping, and I feel because I feel that you've left home at a young age. Would you understand that?
Hard to understand what you just said. Can you repeat, please?
You left home at a very young age.
Very young age?
Yes. You were young when you left home.
Okay.
And
I was
does
young
that make sense?
When I left home?
Yes.
I've kind of never left home. I moved around a lot.
Okay, well then, there must be a time where you found yourself in more freedom when you were younger, because I feel like you didn't have to be so concerned for your father in the way that he behaved.
Oh yeah, I was always a daddy's girl, and I just I would worship the ground he walked on and everything, and it was just the way it was supposed to, the way I felt it, because I was very well attached to my father.
But I do feel that you became more secure as you got older. It was something that you more dealt with as a younger child, not as you got older. And I feel that your father is drawing my attention to your mother, and he's saying to me that she, as a result of being in this relationship, she lacked confidence and self-esteem.
That is true. She kind of did. My father actually made her feel insignificant and everything, and she didn't.
Yeah. I've run out of time, and I have another caller, but just to sort of round it off, and I'm just asking your grandfather for the sort of last thing to say. He wants you to know that he is walking with you in your life. He's with you in your life and making sure that you're always safe. He's making me feel that part of the reason that why he was on the earth plane was here to make you safe and make you happy. Now, I'm going to have to go, Brooke, so sorry it's so quick. I told you it was quick. But my name is Gail Moffat, and if you need to find me, I'm on Facebook. So do find me on Facebook if you need me.
Okay.
So thank you so much. Now, I have another caller waiting, and that's Brittany in South Bend, Indiana. Are you there, Brittany? We're just waiting for Brittany to connect. Are you there? So whilst we're waiting for Brittany, I just want to sort of say how one of the incredible things about mediumship is, and when you look at the sort of the last caller, one of the most incredible things is that you are able to, bring through that sort of comfort and that healing. And I think most of all, it's healing, to know that somebody that you love is still around you, to know that they still care, to know that they are watching over you is just something just so miraculous in a way. And I know that I myself draw comfort from knowing that certain relatives of mine are around me, and I also feel that with every generation, with every person that exists in a family, quite often there is always someone in the family that is experiencing some sort of level of grief where they have lost somebody that's very special to them, and I always think about how people in the world who don't believe in mediumship or don't believe in sort of life after death or going to heaven or whatever, or that they must really suffer when they have a loved one that passes, because their belief is that's it. But if you have a belief that you do go on to another world, heaven or the spirit world or whatever you wish to call it, and you do, and you are able to be sort of with people that you love. That's just such an amazing thing, isn't it? Now we have another caller, and that's Amber in Louisiana. Are you there, Amber? Okay. So I'm just gonna carry on talking about how the importance of mediumship, and how I actually think that when somebody has lost somebody, it is just miraculous to be able to communicate and have that communication. But hello, we have Amber in Louisiana. Are you there, Amber?
Yes.
Hi, Amber. How are you? So I think that we're sort of coming to sort of the end of the show, but I know that so I was talking about how mediumship is so very important in our world, and I just wish that people would those people that wouldn't believe in this, or those people that don't agree with it for one reason or another, and I just wish that people would embrace it, because my experience of mediumship is not the spirit people that I speak to, or my guides are beautiful souls, and they look to help so many people, and they look to support so many people in the world. And my talk right at the beginning was about being, having love in your heart and giving to people. And I know that, my guides always sort of try to instill in people that it's about giving. That brings on to another subject, is about forgiveness as well. I think that forgiveness is sometimes very difficult, but probably one of the biggest challenges that we have in this world, to forgive people that have wronged us. But I think if we can forgive people and show love in our hearts, then that's a tremendous gift, not only to the person that we're forgiving, but it's a gift to ourselves, because we're not carrying it along in our life. We're not having to deal with these the negativity of life, because I always think that sort of negativity will bring our energy down and not help us to shine. And what's important is, we've got this opportunity to live this life, and we should shine, and we should lift ourselves up from the negativity. And I think that if we can start by forgiveness, that's and having love in our heart for even the people that have done us wrong, then that is just a wonderful thing to achieve in life, and a wonderful thing to be. And I know that and one of the things that the spirit world has often said to me, actually, is that it's hard to forgive, but it's even harder to forgive ourselves. That is sometimes the hardest forgiveness. But I also think that, when we get over to the spirit world, it doesn't end there. If we need to forgive somebody, we still have to achieve that. We still have to do that in our lives. It's so important, forgiveness, and to have love in our hearts for everybody, even those people that we like to call our enemies. I've had 2 or 3 dogs in my life, and one of them has just recently passed, and I used to call him a love dog, because he literally would like to sort of give love to everybody and anybody that I knew, and I think we have a lot to learn from our animals and our pets. They're the ones that actually give us love and support us so much in our lives, and give us happiness. If only humans could give love in the same way. So I guess have love in our hearts and forgive not only others but forgive ourselves for our actions, and that is just, I guess, the important message for today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. My name's Gail Moffat. You can find me on gailmoffat.com or on Facebook, whichever way you'd like to work with that. And I look forward to hearing from you and see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Messia, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air. Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm actually on vacation right now. I'm in Colorado. So I forgot to tell Dave that, but I'm not in Los Angeles right now. I'm in Edwards, Colorado. So, but anywho, I came to see a friend, and it's really nice because I'm surrounded by nature. So it's something that I really needed, and just need the break, So, but anywho, enough about me. But when I was meditating on the energy of the collective, I did pick up some energy on legal matters, and what I got is, if you're currently in a legal matter and it's causing a lot of stress and you just want it to be over with, what I'm getting is it's almost done and you're actually going to get your fair share in this battle, is what I'm hearing. So that means you're going to end up with a reward, like finances, money, that it's going to be fair. So it could be divorces, or if people are currently going through a divorce, it's going to be a fair share. For any other legal battles, it's almost done, and once it's done, you won't have to deal with the situation ever again. So I specifically got those messages when I was meditating, so I just went with it and repeating, but that's what I heard. Yeah, I just got the Justice card, so definitely there's legal matters happening that I'm picking up on, but it's going to be a fair battle, exactly what I was hearing earlier. So I know I wanted like at least 5 minutes before a caller, but let's see what else I get with the cards for the collective. Yeah, there's people that are going through these legal battles. Obviously, it's causing stress and it's emotional upheaval. Yeah, also what I'm hearing is for those that are going through a divorce, that was causing an emotional upheaval. Again, it's going to be a fair battle, but the strings will be untied. So you're not going to feel stuck in a situation anymore, and you're not going to feel tied down. But there's still this sense of the emotional unsatisfaction is left behind. So stuck or not, there's a heartbreak that I'm picking up on, and it's evident in the cards that are falling out. So, yeah. So Jasmine in Dallas.
Yes.
Hi, Jasmine. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
I'm good. Thank you. What's your question for tonight?
Basically, I just want to know, am I ever going to get married? Don't seem like that's ever going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Are you being social enough? Are you going out enough to meet new people?
No, because of my kids.
Right. And I'm picking that up. You're not being social enough. And, that's understandable. You have a child. That's completely fair and understandable. But that's one of the factors as to why the love isn't coming to you. Because the action is needed from you as well to bring that energy in. So that was a message I got off the bat, was to try to be more social if you can. If it's possible, a babysitter, even if it's one night a week. But I also feel that financially you're really being careful as well. So you're not wanting to go out and waste money, doing stuff just to meet someone and hopefully hit the jackpot is what I'm hearing. So you're also wanting to be careful with your finances, and you don't want to be spending it carelessly,
Yeah.
It's not that love isn't there for you. It's just I feel that there's a sense of fear of falling in love a little bit again, because you were in love with someone before in the past, and a little bit of the memories are left behind. Not much, but it kind of, what I'm hearing is you don't want to go through that again. So you want love, but you also don't want to be fooled, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Also, I feel that you're not able to express your emotions to anyone about it either. Like, you don't have someone to say, I'm just not happy in my love life, and I want things to change. It's difficult for you because you've got a full-time, your hands are full, a lot of responsibility. But what I'm getting is your love life will be victorious and can be. It's just there needs to be some small things tweaked out. Also, yeah. I feel you're going to get communication from someone that's offering. Oh, my screen froze on my end. Oh no. I don't know if I can. Okay, I'm back on. Sorry, the connection is probably not that great. I'm in like trees and mountains, so I feel you're going to get communication. Regarding some situation that caused heartbreak or heartache.
Yeah, I just broke up with an ex, and he, after 6 years, he been trying to get with me, and I didn't. And then I gave him a chance, and he broke my heart. He just stopped talking to me, and I didn't understand what was the real reason. Was it because he found somebody else?
Yeah.
Or was it an old ex that broke his heart, and he was trying to get back with her? Or is he just really trying to get himself together?
Yeah, it was another woman that was also involved within his heart space and physically, I feel, as well. And I feel it's one of his regrets because I feel that he wanted you, but he lost you. So I feel he wants to communicate, but I feel that he's had a few options. Maybe he was, like the quote unquote player type, that he easily attracted other women, is what I want to say. But what I'm feeling is his heart was with you. Even regardless of the options that were there, his heart was with you. And I feel, and what I'm getting here in the cards and what I'm feeling is he thinks about you often, and usually it's at night. But he's not moving forward to say anything to you, but there's still love there. So
Wow.
that's another factor as well as to why love isn't coming in, because then you had that situation where you don't want to experience that again. So there's a sense of you're still holding back a little bit, and you're really concerned about your finances and focused on that. And also your child is also number one for you. So you have a lot of responsibilities that don't really allow you to really go out. But if you just tweak some things around, you know, your love life is going to be fine. You had good energy regarding your love life. Yeah, again, it came out. It's a past love is what I'm feeling though, but it's going to be, you're just not really wanting this past. Yeah, because I feel like you've left that behind. You want to leave it behind. So, but what I can definitely tell you is if you want someone new, you don't want this person from the past, you can get someone new. It's just focus on going out a little more and being a little more social, even if it's every week, just so you never know. Or join like some kind of group, like hiking group or anything that you're into. They have groups you can join. That's a great way to also meet someone, because you don't really want to meet someone at a bar either. So, I would look into that. I would look into more of a group setting type thing. And, because I feel there is someone from the past that is still thinking of you that's caused you heartache, because of, actually, I felt multiple people, but there was one that you knew about. And, but I feel you're not going to, I just feel you've lost the trust there completely. And you're not wanting to deal with it anymore. It was exhausting, and it really broke your heart. And so honestly, it's good for you either way, because if you decide to not go back, you're still going to find someone, because it was in your reading. So don't worry about being alone. You won't be alone. And we're never alone anyways. So it's just the past thoughts that we go back to a place where it's memories, and then we feel alone because we're thinking of the situations from the past. But try to focus on your self-happiness for a bit, because I feel that isn't happening for a while. So you need that feeling.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, ma'am.
Oh, you're welcome, Jasmine. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. And now we have Tara. Hi, Tara. From Michigan. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
And what's your question for tonight?
I recently lost someone very, very close to me. And I guess I was wondering if she had any messages or anything like that. Or if there's any one. I guess I've lost a lot of.
So what was the last part you wanted to see if what?
I recently lost my sister. And I haven't really had any signs or anything, or maybe that's just in my mind. And I was just wondering if she had any messages for me or anything like that.
Okay. What was your sister's name?
Amanda.
Amanda. Okay. So let me meditate on her and see what I get. See what she has to tell you. First thing I'm hearing is you worry too much. Also, what I'm trying to see here. What I'm getting is she's wanting you to bring more balance into your life, is what I'm hearing, and more balance into a relationship.
Okay.
But yeah, what I'm getting is she wants you to allow more love into your life, but she definitely wants you to balance that out in your life. Also bring emotional balance into your life and not worry so much, because that's the first thing I heard her say is she worries too much. And she feels that it's time to allow love into your life. So meaning a relationship or to work on a relationship.
Yeah.
That has a lot of conflict, and what I'm getting is she's constantly surrounding you and this person that you are in a relationship with, trying to bring you back together. But there's always conflict, and she's saying, and the worrying doesn't help. But what I'm getting is she's telling me you need to communicate more with each other, because this is something that she feels shouldn't end. So, because she sees the conflict, and she's always around both of you, is what I'm hearing. She's trying to bring it back together. And she sees that you're in your mind about it. You're just overthinking it, and it's causing you to feel stuck. She sees that, and she doesn't want you to feel stuck, because you're never stuck. And she sees you work hard. You've always worked hard, but she sees that you put a lot of your focus into work, and it's because it's a sense of not wanting to feel the issues. But she's telling me that ending it is not going to bring happiness if you feel that's the answer. Yeah. She's saying release the conflict, and you both need to release control over each other, is what she's telling me. So, and to stop worrying. She keeps saying you just worry too much. And, don't worry. She's around you and your partner a lot. And she's trying to help you to heal the situation. And I think it will be, if you believe it. You have to believe, But was Amanda younger than you?
Yes.
Yeah, I felt it. She's a little feisty.
Very.
Yeah, she's funny. Yeah. Yeah, she's saying if you want things to change, you got to take the actions, you know, but the right ones, the right ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting here. Was Amanda in an abusive relationship by any chance, or?
In the past.
Yeah. She's saying she finally feels free of him. So, yeah. She's very sweet. She's very happy. And she's very happy. But she's around you often. She wants you to believe it, though. She feels you don't believe that she's there. So, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I feel after this, you'll take the actions. You know.
Yes.
You'll take
Yes, I will.
Let me, before you end the call, I want to pull an oracle card for you. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you're very soon. You have to decide what decision you want to make, but this is a true love connection, Tara. So you want to make sure that the decision you make very soon is the right one. I could tell you, I don't see you separating, but again, we all have free will. You have to still make the decision. So I don't see a separation happening because you're going to go back into your heart space is what I'm hearing, and you're going to feel the love that you felt a long time ago with him. And yeah, I got this could be the one. So, you know,
Thank you.
just meditate on your decision.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tara. Have a good night. So that was really great readings. I enjoyed doing that. Also, you know, to talk about my friend that I'm visiting, her name is Yasmin. She's letting me stay in her space for the moment. And she's a sound healer, so she's a light worker herself. And also a twin flame herself. But I've been having a blast with her. I've been meditating out in nature and near water, which was, I'm like a water baby. I love water. I release everything near water, and also trees. I love trees, but I'm sure some people are laughing because that typical like tree hugger person. But you know, I get energized through nature, and yeah, I actually when I meditated here, I connected to some really, really strong energy, very powerful. So I felt it was very native in nature, the spirit I was feeling. So, but I love Colorado, and I don't know, I'm thinking about moving here because I really like it. It beats California, I'll tell you that. But I hope everyone had a great week, and people that are going through tough situations, it's almost over and you're almost free. And, you know, a lot of the times we have to remember that when we don't like something, we can make the decision to change it. There's nothing holding us back. We don't have physical chains or someone holding us back. It's in our mind, and it makes us feel like something is holding us back, but there's nothing. You can do anything, as long as it's good energy. Do it, but we always have a choice, and sometimes the consequences are worth it, and sometimes they're not, but that's how you learn, right? Can't be perfect in life. So yeah, actually, when I was meditating too, I felt the energy was so strong, I got a little nauseous. I made some tea. I was like, whoa, it's really strong energy around in this area that I'm in. It's really, there's not much here, but some small shops and trees and mountains and water, and it's perfect, but intense energy for sure. So I'm sending everyone love and light, and I will see everyone next week when I get back in LA. And thanks to the other psychics on this channel giving me the kudos on the posts. I appreciate that. And I wish everyone a great night. And I have 2.5 minutes left. I always do that. So I'm going to sip on my tea because I'm thirsty, but I love tea. And my friend Yasmin. And also thank you to Anna, who lives upstairs. Thank her for having me over as well. But I love tea because it's very relaxing. I highly recommend people either take showers or baths before they go to bed, or they at least drink tea. It'll help you sleep so much better. And so I really need to get a timer on when to end the show. I'm so bad with that because time doesn't exist for me. That's a man-made. Time doesn't exist. It's all energy. So I'm sending everyone love and light, and I will see you all next week.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show. I'm your host, Mystic Sarah, and we're on A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network. Plus, we're on Moonstruck TV. So if you would like your own private reading with me, it's very easy to do that. You can go straight onto my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can find me on Facebook under Mystic Sarah and also under Modern Mystic. I do a weekly free psychic session, so if you fancy having your own mini reading, you can get involved in that way. Of course, you can call in tonight. I am taking 2 callers tonight. So let's talk about our topic for today. which is the full moon in Sagittarius. We're still within that energy, so I wanted to really recap on certain things that you can do around that full moon energy. And when we're looking at full moons, we are looking at using that energy of the full moon to amplify what we would like to achieve. Now, with each moon, in terms of where it falls within the astrology side of it, will be good for certain things. So let's have a look at what a full moon in Sagittarius would and possibly could be good for. Okay, so we have spells for legal matters in general, laws, judges, teaching and learning, education, philosophy and ethics, dreams, contacting the higher planes, accessing the Akashic records, contacting God in general, divination, starting a tradition, big business, conscience, luck in general, and of course good luck. Also rules are in-laws. So looking at who we are married to and their family, parties and fun, long journeys, dream work, high mysteries, higher learning, sports, good deeds, goodwill, fame, generosity, eternal optimism, resilience, rationalization, future orientated, movement forwards, mind expansion, spiritual occurrences, the ability to perceive right and wrong, faith, television, languages, and publishing. Okay, so maybe you would like to get your own book written, or going forwards, maybe you would like a publisher to take notice of what you've written. Perhaps you want to get onto TV, perhaps you want to launch your career, whatever it is that you want to put a little bit of extra energy or momentum into, now would be a good time to use that full moon energy. So how do we do that? Well, what I always do, I'm just going to give you what I do, is I light a candle. Now, if we're looking at Sagittarius, I go for the colours blue, violet, red or indigo. If you don't have any of those colours, that's not a problem. You can go for white. What you would do is write your intentions down, what it is that you would like to move forward with over the coming months, and then just meditate on that as you wait for that candle to burn down. It really is as simple as that. So reflect, imagine what it is. We say meditating, imagine what it is and how you would feel if those things were actually brought into your life. Okay, right, so I have also picked a card for today. Or for this week, actually. And this is what I have picked out earlier as I was waiting to come onto the show. We have the 9 of Cups, or the 9 of Chalices, as it is in this card. And I'm using the deck, the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So if we look at the 9 of Cups, or the 9 of Chalices, it's known as the wish card. So what wishes do you want to come true? And more importantly, it's giving us the energy to make those things a reality. So I would say over the next week, it's going to be a time where you're finding more and more things actually go your way. And perhaps, is it going to be your big dream coming true, or is it going to be smaller dreams? Who knows? It's life is what you make it at the end of the day, but this is the energy to be focusing on. Right, okay, let's go on to my first caller. We have Laura, who is in Dublin, Ireland. Laura, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And what would you like me to look at for you today?
I've a lot going on at the moment, as in I am trying to move premises. I'm trying to move house, and I'm just wondering if it's going to happen this year. Okay. All right, let's have a look and see what we have for you. So as I'm tuning into this whole move, it's like
the energy that I'm being given here is like it's been blocked. Does that make sense? Or it feels like it keeps on falling through. If I just feel like I've got hiccups when we're looking at actually getting this move in place. I do feel that, and I'm getting a lot of indications that we're looking a little bit further into the year here. And I am being shown here you changing direction over a long period of time, over after waiting. This is what I'm being shown for you. So are you actually looking to move a distance as well?
No, it'll be very close to where we are.
Okay. Are you near the sea at all?
I am, yeah.
Okay, right, it's just I'm picking up water around your move. So it feels as though the move itself is, it feels like it's in the lap of the gods. And I feel like you've got to be patient, because the house that you are meant to be actually moving into, it feels destined in some way. So I've got the element of divine timing around it, which I feel partly accounts for this sense of a long delay in terms of getting the ball rolling. If I'm going to look at timing for you, I mean, I have got this year, but I feel like I'm looking at after summer. I want to go sort of September, October time for you, okay? This is when I feel that all the right conditions are actually going to be there. And this is also where I feel that the right house for you is going to be coming in. Now, what I'm being drawn towards here is I'm being given a number around this house, which is the number 11. So I've got 2 1s here with you. I mean, it could possibly be 111 or 101, but I want to give you 11 as a really significant number. I feel that in many respects, the place that you're in at the moment holds within it some difficult times. Does that make sense? Some difficult memories. And I feel like the whole energy of the house hasn't really worked very well for you. Does that make sense to you? As though you've encountered lots of problems since being there. And there's also the sense of outgrowing the property as well, sort of emotionally or vibrationally. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Yeah, well, definitely outgrown it, as in kids. There's so many kids, there's no room left.
So when we're looking at your next move, I feel that it's going to match you a lot better, or certainly match the family a lot better than what you have at the moment. But my feeling here is that it's been really complicated to get this ball rolling. I keep on being shown here the month of October as being really, really strong with this move. This is where I feel the right house is actually going to call to you, okay? I feel like that's...
This year or next year?
I feel like it's this year. I do feel that it's this year. But October seems to be the month for you. I feel like this is where everything is kind of falling into place. And also it is the point where you're able to start all over again, because this is what this move really symbolises for you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, has that answered your question?
Yes, it has. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and take care, and thank you for calling into the show.
Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Right, we're going to go on to our next caller, and we have Shannon, who is in Stockbridge, Georgia. Hi, Shannon. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you.
What? Oh, thank you. What would you like me to look at for you?
Well, I feel like that my whole life is in chaos right now. I have 4 grown children, and but they don't live with me. It's just like there's so much going on. I don't know how to explain it. Just maybe a general reading, maybe. I mean, I'd like to know if anything, if this is going to get better anytime soon.
Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got here. Okay, so I mean, as I was listening to you speak, one of the most confusing things with you at the moment is that next step, okay? Or what is it that you need to be focusing on to change the trend of what's been happening, okay? Because what I'm being shown here is like you being caught up in everyone else's issues and problems. Does that make sense? So instead of reaching that quiet time that you thought you were going to be getting, it's almost as though I feel like it's like your time is totally dominated by everyone else, and just when you think you're going to get a little bit of time to just focus on you or breathe, I feel like boom, something else comes in because what I'm being shown here is, yes, we have got major problems being presented, but also we have, it's like a whole variety of smaller issues, okay? But it seems to be like compounding everything at the moment. Like I'll get this great weight, as though you're totally overwhelmed by what's going on in and around you, okay? So instead of reaching that sense of balance and peace, it feels like it's gone the opposite way. So what is it? This is the thing. What is it that you need to be focusing on to break this trend? Because I feel like in many respects, you've given it the gift of time, and it still hasn't got any better. It feels like it's got worse. So I feel that something needs to shift with this. Right, so let's just see where you are at the moment, because I feel like the energy is actually talking about, the cards are talking about you kind of reclaiming yourself. Does that make sense? Reclaiming your life. And I feel... I feel that, part of that is going to have to be learning to say no from now on, okay, within reason. It feels as though there's like everybody kind of pulling all of your energy out of you all the time. And what I'm getting here with this is that you're exhausted from all of that. Does that make sense? And you've got no energy. It's not just time, but you've got no energy to move forward with anything in your life. And you feel now stuck,
I really do, yes.
More stuck than you did when your children were younger. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Now,
yes, ma'am.
Let's just see what we get in terms of you and how to make the shift. Right, so the first thing that I feel needs to shift and change with you is the work side of it. So what I'm being shown here is that's what you need to focus on to begin with, and then I get other things, almost like a domino effect, starting to shift and change for you. Okay.
Okay.
So what I feel here is that I'm being told here you have to learn to say no, and you're going to have to start to be disciplined with your own time, okay? Because my feeling here is that, unless that happens, people are still going to pull on your energy. Now, what my guides are also saying here is that it's got to this stage because on some level, and that level might be totally acceptable and totally reasonable. It's not a judgment in any way, but what my guides are saying here is that you've allowed this to kind of get to this stage, okay? Not for a negative reason, but the reason being is that you just want to help people. Does that make sense? And you want to be there, and you want to be a good mum, and a good role model. But my feeling here is it's gone too far. Does that make sense? They're also talking about like arguments within the family. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am, totally.
Yeah, like you're being caught in the middle of other people's dramas. That's what I'm being shown.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So when we're talking about saying no, this is what you've got to start saying no to, okay? It's the dramas and being involved in those, not obviously the cry for, real help. Does that make sense? There's no need for you to compromise your own values. But this is what my guides are saying that you need to start with. That will, I feel like I've got a lot more sort of time becoming available to you. Everyone's energy sort of just disbanding, and they're going to find the next person to kind of offload all of their dramas onto. Now, this will give you the option, I feel, to focus on where you want to go, where we're looking at work, because my feeling here is that you are needing some sort of change. Does that make sense? I feel as though everything has become quite stale for you. Does that make sense?
It's kind of bad. I'm in a bad relationship, and like you said, I feel stuck. I don't know what my first move needs to be to better. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know what to do next. My husband passed away in 2009, and it's like my life's been chaos since. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I mean, what my guides are really sort of like pointing you towards. See, they're saying, in order to create change, we need to have a pretty full battery pack, okay? And at the moment, this isn't something that you've got. Okay, I feel like you've been worn down and worn down and worn down. Okay, so what my guides are talking about is you strengthening yourself. Okay, and it's actually starting with an area that has got nothing to do with your home life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So by strengthening the work side, what you're going to find is that that's going to give you extra confidence, okay, as well as many other things. But that is your first step, clawing yourself out of, the situation that you're in at the moment, okay? It feels as though everyone is taking advantage of you in one way or another, okay?
Yes. And the person I'm with is, yes.
I mean, in terms of actually walking away from that situation and walking away from that relationship, that is going to take a lot of energy for you. And I feel, in some respects, people would just say to you, well, why don't you just leave? But I don't feel like it's as easy as that for you. I feel that, it might, do you know what I mean? I feel like it's going to cause other problems. It doesn't seem that that's just the sensible, otherwise you would have done it. Does that make sense? If that was the easy answer, you would have done that by now.
Yes. Yes.
But, the point being is that I feel that if we're looking at when your husband passed away, I feel that it's almost as though other people could pick up on your vulnerability, from not just at that time, but going forwards as well. And I feel like they've kind of monopolized on that vulnerability, and it's just ended up being a really negative cycle for you. Okay. But as with everything, I am a strong believer that the challenges that we're given are never meant to destroy us. We are always destined to overcome them. And this is what I feel with you, is that you're destined to overcome this and actually get everything back in order. Okay. The challenge being is that you haven't been able to do that ever since your husband passed away. And you've never really felt complete since he's gone. Does that make sense? You've never, there's always been something missing since he's left, even though you've got another relationship. There is some positivity coming in around your immediate family as well. So I feel like that's I'm getting shown here like celebrations, and I feel like I'm talking about new life being brought into the family, babies, that kind of thing. So it feels really good. That's something to look forward to. Now, in terms of your husband, I feel like you've fallen into quite an emotionally bereft relationship. So this
it's no good. It's toxic. It's no good. And I know this. I just don't know how to get out.
Well, this is what my guides are trying to direct you towards. They're saying here that if you actually work on the work side of yourself and get your own stability and get your confidence coming in that way, then you're going to be better. Then you're going to be better equipped to deal with the tougher emotional elements here, because I do feel that when we're looking at your relationship, I feel that you know already that this person isn't going to change, you know?
Exactly. No, he's not.
He's not going to change. And I feel that, you've already lost your, part of yourself within that relationship. And I don't feel that you're meant to continue with that. I feel that I've got a new relationship coming in for you further down the line once you've moved away from this relationship that you're in. So the important thing, the thing that my guys want to say is, do not view your present relationship as either the best you're going to get or your last chance, because that is simply not true. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but somehow you've got yourself thinking that.
Yes.
So, even though we are looking at, at some point in the future, and I don't feel like I'm talking about years away. It feels like it's relative. I'm being shown here is going to be relatively rapid. I feel that this year is going to be, as we get from July onwards, let's go from July moving forwards to the end of the year, this feels as though it's progressing in a way that where we get slight chinks of positivity starting to enter your life, okay? Some of those will be through your own efforts, and some of them won't be. But the important thing is that it's beginning to start to change the trend. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
I do feel that your husband is still very much around you. And I do feel that connection that you had with him hasn't gone anywhere. It's still very much a part of your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I'm also being shown here with him that he passed away quite suddenly. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Went to sleep and didn't wake up. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I feel with him that, how can I put it? It's like there's something here that he left everything in a mess. Does that make sense? Or there was so much to sort out afterwards. It wasn't just dealing with that. It was everything else as well. Does that make sense on a more practical level?
Yes, that makes sense.
However, this is something that you sorted through, you dealt with, and you did a really good job, and particularly in terms of like moving forwards with your life. Okay, I feel that he's going to direct you to your next relationship, and the person that I've actually got you with has, I feel, lots in common with your late husband, and I feel like when you look at him, you'll say, how can I put it? You'll know that your husband would have approved or would have liked the person that's coming into your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Like, can you see like how when this might happen? Because it's like I'm just miserable right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I feel it much depends on when your first step comes in. If that comes in, which I feel it will do over the next 6 months, I feel like I've got you walking away from your relationship that you're in at the moment, and I feel that within 6 months of that time, you're going to have this new relationship enter your life.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a long wait, but it just feels as though there's a couple of things that need to happen before that's able to come into your life.
Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Before I get going with my coaching tip, I just want to let you know that Lilydale Assembly is opening tomorrow. Lilydale Assembly is the largest spiritualist community in the world, and people come from all over the world to either have a reading with some of the registered mediums there, or to take workshops or experience the peace that is there. So I do want to tell you about that, and you can go to their website, lilydaleassembly.org. And I also want to tell you that my new website is up as of today. So psychicmediumcolleen.com should take you there. And if it doesn't, try ColleenVanderZijden.com. It's really cool. I had a great website person, so I'm really excited about it. So today's coaching tip is about obstacles. What if your obstacles are actually helping you? I was coming back from a meeting the other night, and I was driving on this back road, and it's in the country a little bit, but this road happens to be a very winding road, and it's up and down all over the place, and there's trees all over. And as I was driving, I noticed a deer crossing the road just a little bit ahead of me. And if you have ever driven in an area with deer, you know if you see one, there are probably more. So we always slow down to look. So I did. I slowed down to look, and I looked to the left where the deer was, didn't see anything. And I thought, okay, maybe we're okay. And I looked to the right, and there were 3 deer standing right there, right next to me. Fortunately, they didn't decide to run into the road at that time. That would have been a bummer. So I was really happy about that. So as I passed these deer, I decided I was going to speed back up again. So I get going. I didn't go very far at all, maybe 30 seconds worth. And all of a sudden, something ran out at me from the left. It was so fast, I don't even know what it was. So I slammed on the brakes, and I looked around. I looked in the rearview mirror to see if I'd hit something, didn't see anything. So I thought, well, that was strange. So I kept going. And 5 seconds later, this bird comes out of nowhere on the right side of the road and flies right at my car, so close to it that I thought, oh no, I definitely hit that bird. And I didn't see anything again or look. And I thought, this is so strange. Why is this? All these things keep happening. And what is happening right now? Why are these things coming out in front of me? And I was like, it's almost like something is trying to slow me down. And it was so strange that I decided, yes, maybe I will drive slower. And it was a good thing because I just missed the next deer that ran out right in front of me. And if I hadn't had those obstacles kind of coming out at me, I would have probably hit that deer, the next one, the very last one. I hadn't been speeding, so I definitely was not speeding, but I needed to slow down so I wouldn't hit that deer. Have you ever noticed that when we have an obstacle, we resist it? We try to force our way through it. We ignore the warning that maybe where we're heading isn't the right path for us, that maybe the way we're planning to get someplace isn't the right way to go. We may not have those literal signs like something running out in front of your car or flying at us to slow us down. But when we do have an obstacle, there might be a reason for it. We tend to get stuck in the feeling that these things are in our way, they're ruining our lives. But what if we looked at it from a different perspective? That this obstacle is actually important to us. It's actually something that's going to help us. It could be a stepping stone to something better. A problem that we have could lead us to something better. It could be correcting our path. It could be divine intervention, stopping us from an accident or something more traumatic or a disaster. An obstacle could be protecting us from something. Now, a long time ago, I had a friend who was telling me that he was having these really strange symptoms. They were odd. He had these weird pains in strange places, aching feelings. Even some of the food he was eating was bothering him. He didn't really know what was going on, and it kind of stopped him from enjoying life because he never knew how he was really going to feel. And it did bother him enough that he went to the doctor to see what was happening. So the doctor did a very thorough exam and said, I have no physical cause for the symptoms you're having. There's nothing here. You're fine. You're perfectly normal. But when they did the lab work, something came back with some abnormalities. And it turned out he had bladder cancer. However, none of the symptoms he had were symptoms of bladder cancer. So, of course, knowing this, he got the appropriate treatment and he was cured. And after that initial doctor appointment, he had those symptoms again. They were gone, disappeared. And he liked to tell the story of how he found out that he had cancer with symptoms that had nothing to do with what he had the cancer for, and how he found out on accident. And he talked about how when he had these symptoms, he was a little bit irritated because they were getting in his way. But these symptoms were a blessing in disguise, an obstacle that actually led him someplace else. It led him to the doctor and his diagnosis. And who knows how long it would have been before he'd had symptoms that correlated to the bladder cancer. And so he could have had a potentially much worse situation if not for these little symptoms. So those obstacles were a blessing for him. And even though they stopped him from doing some things he wanted to do at the time, they brought something to him that he needed. So they were kind of a stepping stone for him too. And a little bit of divine intervention, I would say, as well. So if you have things in your life that you feel are stopping you from moving forward, think about them in a little bit of a different way. Maybe you haven't found a partner yet, and you're allowing that to stop you from living the life you want to have. You don't have to have a partner to have a wonderful life. You can still do things. You can still go places. You can still do whatever it is you want to do. Yes, I know it's a lot better if you have a partner and it's more fun to do things with somebody, but it's not necessary. And what if this time, this obstacle of not finding somebody yet, what if this obstacle, this time of waiting, is exactly what you need to be ready for when the right person actually becomes available to you? So maybe it's not an obstacle. Maybe it's protecting you from meeting a horrible person that would have been just the worst relationship ever. Maybe you're learning more about yourself. You're learning about what kind of person you want to be and becoming the right person to attract the right person to you. So another example, say you want to buy a new house, but you don't have enough money yet. Rather than giving up and deciding that you'll never have the money, because so many people will do that, well, I'll never have the money, so they just give up, change your perception. Just because you don't have the money now doesn't mean you'll never have the money. That obstacle could just be a step towards what you want, a time for you to figure out a way to save money, to become more resourceful, maybe to look for a house that's within your range, or to work on your patience. Who knows? You may not get this house in the timing you want, but if you keep working towards it, this obstacle could lead you to a better outcome. So if you can look at these problems from a higher perspective and know that obstacles could be there to help you, they could be protecting you, they could help you learn more about yourself. So think about this. Are you the kind of person who gets easily irritated? An obstacle could teach you patience. Maybe you give up and stop trying. That could teach you resilience. Maybe you feel like life is unfair or too hard. This might teach you acceptance, to realize that life is the way it is. Or maybe you have a lot of negative self-talk in your head and it seems impossible to change it. You don't think you're ever going to be able to change it. Maybe this obstacle can help you learn about self-love and compassion for yourself. There are so many possible outcomes that could come from having obstacles. And I'm sure if you look back on your life, you'll find times where you've had big obstacles and problems. And if you really look, you might discover that the biggest rewards in life came from your toughest situations, those obstacles you thought you would never, ever get through. But you did. And you learned a lot about yourself and you learned a lot about life. So the next time life isn't going the way you want it to, some obstacle has popped up and it's blocking your way, try looking at it from a higher perspective. What can you learn? How could it be helping you? If you can do that, you'll see that you can change how you perceive your life. You'll change how you're experiencing your life, and you will be a lot happier because you won't be stuck in the worry and the pain of problems. You'll be able to go, you know what, maybe this isn't a bad thing. And you'll be able to see it differently. So that is my coaching tip of the day. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and I wish you'd go there and check out my website and see what you think. And you can also find me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium, and I changed it, Medium and Intuitive Coach. So you can connect with me there too. So today we will move on to our first caller, who is Sarah from Iowa.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, how are you? How can I help you?
I just had a question. I got a reading a couple years back, and I've just been looking into it recently. I've been told that I was like a celestial being or part of the angelic realm or from there. I was just wondering if you could give me more information about that.
Oh, sure. Lots of times when people talk about that, a celestial being or from the angelic realm, it is about your soul, what kind of soul you have, and that you have that purity of soul that can help and guide other people. I get the impression that you are that kind of person. Do you help other people and guide them on their path?
I try to, yeah.
Yeah. And I also know, tell me if this is accurate, that you're quite sensitive. Are you very sensitive to things?
Yeah, I am. I really am.
And sensitivity, I always say, can be a blessing or a curse. So sensitivity can be awesome because we feel so much in life. We're really experiencing everything, but it can be a curse because we're really feeling everything. And so when something happens that bothers us, it can really bother us a lot. So there are things, you understand. And so, it's amazing, isn't it? Sensitivity is something, but that is so important, and so many people don't have it, but it can be overwhelming at times. And I know there are times where things happen in your life where you feel overwhelmed and you think, oh, this is never going to change, or I didn't really mean that. Why did they think that? And all of those things. So something I always tell people to do when they're very sensitive in that way is to just be aware that that's how they are and make sure you protect your energy. So if you're of the angelic realm, that kind of thing, in some ways you appreciate life like a child would. And I mean that in a very positive way, because there's that sense of wonder that isn't this great? This is what we can do. This is what we can feel. But also the same way a child would, if they're not happy, they're not happy. and they will let you know. So being able to understand your energy and how that works for you. Have you taken any kind of classes or workshops in energy yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that might be something interesting for you to do. Or you could probably Google and get all sorts of information online. But if you looked up energy, in the body, we all have our own energy, like the aura and all of that stuff. And when somebody is very open, and I know you are, your energy just kind of goes out. And so what can happen sometimes is other people's energy will come into your body and can affect you. So that's why when somebody, if they're mean to you or whatever, it bothers you so much because you're very open. So when you're open, you've got to be aware that that's what's happening so that you can detach from that and not let everything bother you and take you into a place of pain or anything like that. So I'm trying to think of a really good energy book for you that would be interesting. There's a book called, I think it's called Spiritual Awakening by Sanaya. It's spelled Sanaya Roman. And I think she channeled the information. That's a very good book. I read a long time ago, and I was just rereading it, actually. And it's about energy and how you can work with energy. Actually, I think that's the perfect book for you. You can find that, I'm sure, on Amazon. You're probably not going to find it in the bookstore, but you might. But that would be an excellent book for you to read. Something else you might want to look into is, I'm sure you've heard about the different angels that are out there. You might want to just kind of explore some of those and see if anything grabs you, something interests you. Don't take everything you read as truth, because sometimes there are some people out there that just make stuff up. You'll just, go with your feeling, because I know you have a very good intuitive sense too. So if it doesn't feel quite authentic for you, then go, no, not that one, and just look for something else out there. So, I think that'll be a couple of really good things to kind of get you going and thinking about life from a little bit of a different angle. The sensitivity can be really something, as you know. And so that's one of the first things to kind of get under control, to just kind of realize that. One more thing before I let you go. I had another thought. In the morning, what you might want to do is set an intention as to how you want your day to go. I always used to say something along the lines of, I send my energy out and I ask that only those who can best benefit from my love, wisdom, energy, healing come to me. Everybody else stay away. So, and I used to do that on purpose so that I was setting my intention of who I wanted to interact with during the day. So if you have some people around you that bug you, that's a great way to kind of lessen some of that energy. And I would say it out loud. So something like that. And I would also put my arms out and make the circle around myself. So I was kind of setting that up. And that may help you protect some of your energy a little bit. So you could try playing with something like that too. That might be fun. And just see, I have a little note on my mirror that reminds me to do it so I don't forget, because I have new intentions all the time. So I just put a little note there in the bathroom. So try that out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you have a good time, Sarah. I hope that I get to talk to you again sometime, because it sounds like you're going to be having a good time on this journey.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You're welcome. See you later. And that was Sarah from Iowa. And now we're going to move on to Alejandra from Illinois. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing quite well. How can I help you?
Just some guidance.
Some kind of life guidance for you?
Yeah.
And, picking up on your energy right away, I can tell that some things aren't going the way you want them to. Is that true?
Yes.
And it seems like there's been a lot of, actually, I'm feeling a lot of loss around you. Have you had some losses recently?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you lost a person who's very close to you by any chance as well?
No. They were really close. Maybe I just feel lost, friendship-wise.
Yeah. And it's an interesting feeling. And the reason I asked about if you'd lost a person recently is because I can feel a spirit here. So I'm going to touch in with this spirit here because I do have, and it feels like a woman here on the other side. And as she's coming in, she is giving me an impression of an illness, that she is ill before she passes. I'm also getting a little bit of breathing issues with her and something in the stomach as well. So there's some uncomfortability with her. And this woman is showing me as well that when she was here in the physical, her life was very difficult. Lots of problems, one problem after another. She kept going, but it was one problem after another. Do you have any idea who that might be?
No, honestly, no. Only
okay.
like people that have passed away that I know have been male figures, like uncles.
Okay, keep that in mind because it could be somebody.
I never met her when
I was
little.
Hear stories. Okay, so if you hear stories, or maybe you can ask somebody about her, because this is a person that literally her life was hard. It was difficult. There were lots of problems. It was one thing after another with her, but she keeps going. Okay, so there is that feeling of keeping going. There is a little bit of, I'm wondering about if she's English speaking originally, because I feel like there might be a different language in there with her. So anyway, I'll leave you that as the information because she's actually coming through because she's talking about you. You would normally have more resilience. You would normally be able to handle whatever's happening in life, but it seems like you've had enough stuff happen more recently that you're just tired now. Are you really tired?
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, that's true.
You just don't know which direction to go anymore. You just don't know where to go. And tell me if this is true, and I'm hoping it's not. Have you recently had a relationship problem happen here?
Yeah.
Oh, darn, I was hoping I was wrong, because that's never a good thing. And the feeling I get with that is, boy, there were a lot of issues there. I don't know if this relationship is still going. Is it still going? Because there's so many issues I'm feeling.
Yes.
Okay. And is there a lot of, are you guys having some real interesting communication issues?
Yeah.
I feel you trying to fix things, but I'm not feeling the other person working as hard as you're working. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And true. I get a real sense of you feeling, and you mentioned lost. That lost is kind of in there. It's kind of like, I've wasted this time, or have I? I don't know. Your brain is just going back and forth and back and forth. And there's so much there. I want you to actually take some time for yourself and figure out what it is you really want and what you really need. And tell me if this is true as well. I feel you working really hard too. Are you working all the time?
Yeah.
It seems like you don't get time for break. It seems like you're always doing something. Yeah. And so that's never the best thing for us, because we do need a little bit of time for a break. But I'm also feeling that you're not very supportive in everything you do. It's like you have to do way too much. Is that true?
Yeah.
I want to say that you do everything around the house. Is that true?
Yeah.
And there's like no real support, help, or anything like this happening. And that's draining too, because you can only do so much. You can only do so much before you will drain your energy. And the thing is too, tell me this isn't true. Are you really eating a lot of junk food? Like food on the go?
Yeah.
I was hoping that wasn't true. Because that's not good for you. You know this. But it's the only thing you can grab really fast. Okay. And I keep hearing the message that you need to, this is funny, that you need to be just planning that out a little bit more. And I want to be giving you more fruits and vegetables. I know that that's what we always tell people to eat, when they want them to eat better and all that. But I feel like you actually like fruits and vegetables. Do you?
Yeah. Some of them, not all of them.
Some of it, ones you like, right? But yeah, because I know there's some people who don't like any of them, so it doesn't make any difference, what you tell them. But I want to be grabbing things like grapes and throwing them in my bag and taking them with me, that kind of thing. So that you're actually having healthier foods instead of some of that other stuff. So that's part of it, and that would really help you. Oh man, there's so much going on here. So much going on. Okay, I'm seeing something really interesting. Let's see if you understand what this is. I am actually seeing like leg braces. Do you understand somebody having or needing leg braces, either on the other side dead or here in the physical?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
No.
Maybe you can check on that as well and just see, because I'm seeing leg braces, and it's reminding me of somebody I knew who had polio and had the leg braces. So from a way back, So it's reminding me of that. So that might be something to check. I can tell you I've never mentioned that before in a reading, ever. So there may be something to that. That does not mean that somebody who's living now is going to need them. That doesn't mean you have a problem and you're going to need them, okay? Doesn't mean that. It just means there's a connection somewhere. Okay, sometimes people will read into things I say, and I don't want you to read into that and take it the wrong way. So it's more of a piece of evidence of some connection with somebody on the other side. So that will be interesting to explore a little bit and see if there is a connection there. Now, the other thing that is interesting too. Okay, who's the yelling person? Who yells in your household? Does somebody yell?
Everybody.
Yell at each other? Did you say probably you?
Everybody yells.
Everybody yells?
Mostly my mom.
Mostly your mom, okay. Because I'm getting yelling, and that for you, I just talked about to the last person about having a little bit of a sensitive energy. You do too, but you really haven't been able to express it. I feel you hiding yourself, not saying things you really want to say, not explaining things to people, that you need to say. You try to keep the peace, so you're not really speaking your mind. And that can affect your energy a lot as well. And so if you're trying to protect yourself from people yelling at you, there's something to be said for coming up with a plan as to how to protect your energy. If it's go for a walk, go do something else, whatever you have to do to protect your energy, so that you're not feeling drained with that. So that's important for you. Interesting. And the other thing is you might want to start kind of practicing speaking your mind a little bit, but do it with the right people that you can trust. They aren't going to get on your case and yell at you, or they're not going to be mean to you. So you've got to do it to people you really know. Like really share something with a good friend or something and say, I'm really feeling down now, and I would love if I could just talk to you for a minute about it. Something like that, because when you speak that and you show your vulnerability to other people, you're establishing a very good connection with them, and you'll feel stronger. So if you need to do that, that's something to consider. So I'm going to be running out of time. So I recommend that for you might want to listen to this again. It'll be near the end of the show, of course, so that you can hear some of the things I said and kind of decide what kind of action step you want to take. Because I want you to take something, figure out a way to protect your energy, figure out a way to speak your mind to the right people, that kind of thing. That will help you get stronger and feel better. And you'll start to get back on your path and not feel so lost. Because that's part of the problem. You're not really living true to yourself. So you've got to get back into that. Yeah. So think about some of these things I've said, because that will help you. Maybe do a little writing on it as well. So Alejandro, I've got to let you go, but it was so nice talking to you. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too.
Yeah, and thank you. And it's so interesting, because there are a lot of people right now out there in the world who are feeling lost. They're feeling like they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go, which direction to go in. And it's so very important that you just stay as true to yourself as possible. Figure out who you are and stay that way. So thank you so much for watching and listening tonight. I'm Colleen Vander Zijden. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com or on Facebook, Colleen Vander Zijden, medium and intuitive coach. Thank you, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Dean, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air, Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
Hello everyone, how are we all tonight? How is everyone doing? How has everyone's week been? Today, or where am I? I'm actually on the Gold Coast, Australia. I've had a huge week. It is a lovely day. The mornings are cool, but the weather's been beautiful. My week's gone so quickly. It always does. I've had a big day of no work today, but I've actually been surrounding myself with like-minded, positive, uplifting, beautiful people that I really connect to on a soul level. I have the most amazing people, beautiful souls actually, that I work with, and I have my best friend that, when we have our days, we don't get to see one enough, but when we do come together, it's like we haven't seen one another. It just feels like we connect instantly, and I like having that connection with people because I can be myself, and it's like we don't need to really say too much. We really know what's going on, and being around amazing people is really supportive for everyone, really uplifts you and encourages you to be yourself. And I've always felt that I've never belonged in the world, had a sense of belonging, but knowing more about myself, it's all about accepting myself, and self-acceptance is huge. And it's really having the courage to be yourself. And when you have the courage to be yourself, it really shows your authentic self. And when you're actually being yourself, it's no effort. And it should be when you surround yourself with positive, uplifting people that you don't feel drained, and it's really good to just be able to relax and have fun and have people around you that support you and you support them, and it should be that mutual respect for one another. And so I've really been a big social butterfly this morning, and I've been fluttering my beautiful wings and being just connecting with people, and it really all comes, it's all from the heart, and there's no judgment. There's no, there's no, just full acceptance, and it is beautiful. So that's my week. I've actually had lots of readings as well, connecting with so many different people. It's what I love. I love what I do. And it's just, it's amazing. And I'm just so grateful for everyone that I meet and all the beautiful experiences that I'm going through. I'm learning and I'm growing every day. So it's just been a beautiful week, and I just have so much gratitude to be me, and to be able to be me all the time. And I know when, you're yourself, you attract like-minded people. So it's just, it's really good. So my message to everyone is to be yourself, let down the walls, connect with like-minded people and really put yourself out of your comfort zones. I mean, if you're not feeling like you don't belong in the world or have anyone around you that you can connect to, it's about putting yourself out there. And, we all have interests and hobbies, and, you really need to make the effort to connect with other people. So really put yourself out there and be brave. So that's my message for you. So I thought we might connect to our callers. I actually have Candace from, Dave, whereabouts was Candace from? Canada. All right. Hi, Candace. How are you tonight?
I'm all right. You?
Very well, thank you. So how can I help you? What's going on in your life at the moment?
I don't have my baby at the moment. I was wondering, like, do you see me ever getting her back or anything like that?
Can you just say that again? Sorry.
I don't have my baby at the moment. I was wondering if you ever see me, like, getting her back again or anything like that.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Just a question is, I keep seeing the number 3 around you. She's not like 3 or 13 at all?
No, I'm 31.
Yeah. Okay. So you're 31. Okay. So with your baby, is she young? Is she around? Because I keep seeing a 3. Yes, you're 31. So where's the 3 come into it? How old is your little girl?
I have 2 little girls, but my youngest is 6.
Okay. Okay, so 6. Okay. Because what I keep seeing at the moment, I keep getting the number 3, and when I see number 3, I either feel like it's, if it was at the age, it's either 3 months. I feel like there's been, I keep seeing the hammer. So is there some kind of court order that's been, are you in the process of going through a court order at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can see the hammer, and it's like it's you're getting closer for the I want to say the verdict, but it's like you're coming to the end of a huge ordeal. I do see 3 months, getting number 3, so I do feel like it's there's change coming your way, but I also feel there's that heartache around it as well, the anticipation of having your daughters with you. But yeah, I definitely see the hammer. I see the hammer coming down, and I really feel like it's really in your favour for the vision that you have for your children. I'm actually hearing just a question with your partner. I keep hearing loud noises around you. Is there anyone around you that's very loud?
No, I'm in a room by myself.
Oh, no, I mean like, sorry, I mean like,
yeah, probably my boyfriend.
Yeah, okay, because he's quite loud. I mean, I'm just getting, and I feel like you don't think, okay, so what I'm getting is that you have, I just feel like there's some kind of control over you. Does this resonate with you at all? It feels like there's some kind of, the control energy around you. I also feel like that, you step back a bit, and it's like, I don't know, it's like you're really protecting yourself, but I don't know, when I say protecting yourself, I mean, you just don't always speak your mind is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, with your children not being with you, are they with somebody else as well? People that you don't know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I'm getting as well. And there's not much communication, is there?
No, not really, no.
No, because I'm also sensing that as well. I'm just feel like there's a bit of a struggle too. Like what I'm seeing is that it seems to be back and forth. There's something, whether it's to do with the court order, but I see going back and forth with something. It's like whether that's obtaining information, but I just feel like it's more weight on your side. Like I feel like, it's the energy around getting your children back is very strong. Yeah. But I also just see paperwork. I keep seeing lots of paperwork and something going back and forth. And whether that's just information being obtained and going back, but there's information going back and forth. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I also see, just a question with so boyfriend the boyfriend the relationship that you're in with now with your boyfriend is the father to your children. Is that correct?
Yeah, my youngest one.
Okay, so they're the younger ones. Okay, because I kept seeing there was not that connection. Okay, so, okay. Has it been an issue? Has that boyfriend been an issue to not getting your children back as well? Is there some kind of, because I know I keep bringing your partner into it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm feeling that. I actually feel like there's a lot of weight and there's a lot of, I just feel the weight on your shoulder. There's a lot of pressure on you. And I also see that that has caused problems too in the past in you being able to get your children back. Does that make sense with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I also see that, oh gosh, I'm seeing lights, but I'm just seeing that it's more on your side. Are you actually, what I'm seeing is where you're living at the moment, there's something going on with your house. Are you planning on moving as well?
Yeah, actually, I'm planning on getting my own place, like moving out by myself.
Definitely, and that's what I see you doing. I see you really taking control, taking like basically the bull, taking the horns and taking control of the situation. I feel like you taking control and moving in the direction that you're wanting to go is going to have more of an impact on you and getting your having your children back home safely with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that. I keep seeing the tree, and it's like 3 months, or whether there's, but 3 months. I'm getting 3 months very strongly, but number 3, even 3 weeks, there's lots happening around the tree around you at the moment.
Okay.
But I do see the house move. I do see your children coming back to you. I do see that just don't be afraid to use your voice is what I hear. Don't be afraid to stand up and take control, because I know that when you're because you're very strong and fierce and independent, but it just feels like, you've had like some kind of control over you and you've had to step back.
Yeah.
Does this make sense with you? And it's like really standing in your power, and it's something I know that once you stand in your power and know what you want, which I clearly see what you want, it gives you more strength to follow through with the process of being on your own and getting your children back. Does that resonate? To anything else around your children? Gosh, what am I saying? I keep seeing change, so I feel like, oops, okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, so we have Hannah. I think Hannah, Dave, can you just let me know again, please?
Hello?
Idaho. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Idaho. So you're from Idaho?
I am from Idaho.
Lovely. I've never been, but I even struggle to say that Twin Falls. It's like a lovely place wherever you're from.
What was that?
I said it sounds like a lovely place, a lovely town.
Oh. Idaho is beautiful.
Yes. I keep seeing like lots of green. I see lots of flowers around you at the moment. Do you have lots of flowers around you?
There's a canyon next to me. So yeah, there's some sagebrush. And waterfall.
Oh, beautiful. And I see lots of grass. It just feels so free, and it feels so, it just feels beautiful. It feels like the kind of place that I'd be really drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. How can I help you tonight? What areas would you like me to look into for you?
I would probably just say maybe financial and maybe just future goals, something like that. A lot has been going on and changing in my life, so.
Okay, so with your financials, what I'm feeling at the moment is that I've got a really heavy heart. Is there some kind of, like, what I mean by a heavy heart is that, is there a tough decision that you're processing, thinking about doing, like a change that that requires obviously money, but there's a change, like a change of heart, not a change of heart, but there's a tough decision that really weighs on your heart in something that you want financially. Does this resonate with you at all, Hannah? I'm just wondering, like, okay, so with financially, what I'm seeing for you is that I feel like there's tough decisions to be made about something. Is this resonating with you at all?
Yeah, I'm thinking about moving states.
Yeah, huge. Because I keep seeing that. So where you're living now, is that not home? Because I feel like it's where you want to go. It's really connected to the heart. I'm really drawn to your heart chakra.
Okay.
So where you're living now, is that home for you? Like, because what I'm seeing, okay, so it is home. So I'm really drawn to your home area, and I feel like, okay, so the move is really, what I'm getting is it's like the sense of it's a big decision, and it really plays a lot on your mind and on your heart as well, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it feels like this move is something that it's not. I don't feel it's been all your decision alone. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I also, with this move, that I keep seeing. Okay, just let me see. I've got lots of things I'm seeing, but I just see that there's something calling for you. But I feel like it's a really hard decision for you to make, and I see that as much as you're moving, you really want to be where you are. It's really a tough decision, and but financially, I see that, you know, the place that you're going, you're not very familiar with. Is this correct? Oops. Okay. Hannah. So Hannah's just left, but I know that she asked something about her. Oops. Okay, Dave. Thank you. Let's just see if we can get her back on the line. Might just draw a few cards for Hannah just to see what's coming through. Okay. Alrighty, so with Hannah. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on talking until we can get her back. So Hannah, if you are listening, or when you do come back on later to rewatch the video, it's just that I just see there's lots of drama around you. I also see you getting in your little car. I mean, when I say little, I just feel like you've packed everything, which isn't much, but it's like you've packed as much as you can to take on this move. I also see that it's, you know, obviously there's lots of concerns financially, but I just see that it's going to be the best decision for you. I also see that it's going to open up new doors for you